And the people, what up? The Carolina Panthers draft is done. I'll let you know what I think. When I watch Panthers post, thanks for joining us. Well, Dan Morgan. I think we were giving glowing eyes to the wrong general manager, and it should be Dan Morgan the entire time. The dude doesn't even need glowing eyes. He has been locked, loaded, and focused on this draft since the final whistle in the win against Atlanta in the last game of the season. He knew where the deficiencies were, and he laser picked every single one of them. Kind of like someone just getting rid of a tattoo they don't like, just like laser, literal laser focused on the task at hand. He wanted size, he wanted speed, he wanted upside, he wanted production at the same time. He wanted guys coming from winning programs, and he wanted dogs, guys who are ready to claw, rip, and bite the knees off people. I know I'm stealing from Dan Campbell, but that's what it's working. It's working in Detroit, and that's what Dan Morgan wants. Just to recap everything that has happened thus far. They stayed where they were. They stuck and pick. They were stuck at 8. Again, the best smokescreen I've ever seen from a general manager. Getting Tetura McMillan, T-Mac, Nola. Negative attitude loses opportunities. Nalo, sorry, not Nola. This ain't New Orleans. Nalo, they got him. And initially, I was a little freaked out for a second. I thought, okay, I know we got to help Bryce, but you know what would help Bryce? He doesn't have to score 50 points a game because the defense can't stop a nosebleed. But as I mentioned in that draft, it is a deep draft. Deep draft when it comes to defensive line. And they traded up to get Nick Scorton, who's only 20 years old. He's going to be turning 21 in August. He is a power dude. He was up to 280 pounds. He'll probably be back down to like the 257, 260 range. He's got power. He's got juice. He's got a motor. He's got a killer spin move. And if we can get what we saw out of him out of Purdue at that nice weight at 257, 260, I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. After that, they then trade up again to get Princey Umanmielen out of Ole Miss. He is rated one of the top 5 pass rushers in this draft, according to PFF. Again, youngish guy. He's around 23 years old. Big dude, long, crazy get off, crazy good spin, crazy Euro step. These two together has already got reporters asking Dan Morgan and company, are you going to shop Jadeveon Clowney? Is DJ want him here forever? Like, they're that good. They're that coveted. So just right there, for the first 3 picks in this draft, you get Teteron McMillan, who's a first-round pick, first-round talent. And then you get Nick Scorton, who is also considered by many as a first-round talent. And then Princey Umanmielen. You could say he is a fringe first-round player as well. What could go wrong in day 3? Well, in my opinion, if there was one reach in this entire draft, it was for Trevor Etienne. I will say it. Doing my own mock drafts, and again, the mock drafts are, they're not what front offices think about the players. But firstly, I was surprised they didn't go in the defensive secondary, didn't try to get a safety. Billy Bowman got picked up by the Atlanta Falcons. So they got Xavier Watts and they got Billy Bowman. Even the analysts out there are like, what are they doing double dipping at safety? But they did it, and it just so happened to be 2 guys that I wanted. So to the Falcons. So they went offense, which I was surprised. Trevor Etienne, bigger than I thought, 5'9", 209 pounds, but in a way he does play smaller, lower center of gravity, harder to get down at the way he plays, and he's got some serious burst. And yes, he is a bit of a change of pace compared to Chuba Hubbard, compared to Rico Dowdle, who are, to me, are power guys, straight line guys. He's working on his agility, but Trevor Etienne just adds a little bit of, lateral quickness. He has that home run speed, that catching ability. He's going to give Raheem Blackshear a run for his money in the passing game and to be that third running back in this room. They then eventually do go to safety. They go to Ohio State, the champions. Latham Ransom, he calls himself a tone setter, an attitude guy. I love it. The way he plays, he does play like a psychopath, which I'm all about. Anyone who hits their own face with their gloves, yelling to the sky, just getting ready to hit. He wants to wreck people, and I think him and Trevon Moehrig could do some damage. I know before I said it, I wanted Nick Emmanwori. He ended up going to the Seattle Seahawks, who PFF, along with the Arizona Cardinals, the Patriots, and the Panthers gave all A+ grades to. Okay, so it's not just Panther fans, but they got Nick Emmanwori, who I thought is a physical freak of a safety and coming off the edge as well. If you want to do a safety blitz and wreak some havoc, I think Latham Ransom could do exactly that. We go back to the defensive line. We talk about the depth in the defensive line. Cam Jackson, massive, 6'6", 323 pounds, out of Florida. Not so much a pass rusher, but he can be a depth piece guy, just in case Derek Brown needs a break or Bobby Brown needs a break or Tersh Wharton needs a break. You can bring him in. Again, young cat, young legs, massive human being. And I think, Dan Morgan, as I said, he understood the assignment, and it was about shutting down the run. And he's doing exactly that with another hog molly right in the middle of the line, sticking in the 5th round. So again, remember, they traded their third 5th round pick to move up to get Nick Scorton or Princey Emmanuel. They then got Mitchell Evans. We got another Golden Domer at tight end with the Carolina Panthers. Again, this guy, big body dude, not fluid. He is not like Arroyo out of University of Miami, but he's a big guy, thick. He could work on his flexibility a little bit, but he could be great on blocks. He could be great on the red zone. He could box out dudes. He just looks like a massive farm guy. I don't know if he even lives in North Dakota or a Yellowstone, Montana type place, but that's just what he looks like. On Twitter, I think it was Panthers on Tap says that he got a little bit of Jason Witten on him. Is it because he's a white guy with a square jaw? Very well, could be that. But Jason Witten, that's pretty good. So right now you have a tight end room with you have JT Sanders, who we saw in some of the videos. Looks like he could do a little bit more with the diet. You got Tommy Tremble, who I'm always going to believe in. Always going to believe in Tommy. And then you got the guy who hasn't played football since grade 8. He's a project guy. But again, he's actually massive. Like, he's 6'7", 6'8", 7-foot wingspan. Probably won't have to jump, even though he can. So that's a very intriguing room. Out of all the rooms, that's a very intriguing room in the Carolina Panthers heading into training camp. And then they round things off again with offense. So double dip on offense during a draft that I think many people thought after they got Tetra McMillan that they should just draft, defense all the way through. They go Jimmy Horn Jr. out of Colorado. Now, again, you get Tetra McMillan, who's 6'5", 6'4", and then you got Jimmy Horn Jr., who's 5'8", like 170, 180 pounds. But again, and Dave Knox talked about this after the day 2 conference, talking about how it's kind of building a basketball team, kind of mimicking an idea that one of the guys I respect the most, Daniel Jeremiah, former scout, now the NFL Network, he's their draft guy. When it comes to a wide receiver room, you kind of want to build a basketball team. Everyone's got different sizes, different traits, different superpowers. Right now, before the draft, they kind of had the same guy who does something a little bit different than the other. You had Adam Thielen, who's a big dude, possession receiver, can get open, but not a speedster. Xavier Legette, big guy, possession receiver, can outmuscle guys. No real speed. David Moore, old dude, no real speed. And you got Coker, who, again, big dude, no blazing speed, not really going to physically manhandle you. So you get somebody like a Tetra McMillan, 6'5", high point the ball. He's a ball snatcher. He's not a framer. He can get up there. Former volleyball player, loves volleyball, gets up there, could work on separation, but he's smooth. He plays fast. And then later on, you get Jimmy Horn Jr., who is blazing fast. And he can move. He's got that explosive quickness. We don't really have a small, skinny guy in the wide receiver room who can make things happen. Obviously, they had that one guy. I completely forget his name right now. But Jimmy Horn Jr. gives exactly. That's the recap of our picks. I suggested they were going to get 6 defensive players and then a running back and then maybe offensive tackle. But in the end, they got 1, 2, 3, 4 defensive players, 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, and a tight end. So they're continuing to build on the defense, building on what they did in free agency. As they said in the very beginning, the way they address free agency is they get best player available. Doesn't matter what position they play. They don't want to draft for need. They want to draft for the best player. And it looks like they did that. Again, Trevor Etienne pick. Maybe I'll eat my words. I thought it was a bit of a reach. There were other guys out there. Dylan Sampson was out there. But then again, he was passed on multiple teams while there was a little bit of a run on running backs in the 4th round. Jimmy Horn Jr., I think he can add something exciting. Again, special teams. Again, more competition for Raheem Blackshear and Trevor Etienne. It's nice to have someone who could just do something a little different in the wide receiver room. I think they could scheme something up for him in this offense. So all in all, I think this is a very balanced draft. This is a purposeful draft. Everyone here has a purpose. Like, I could totally see all these guys, maybe minus Mitchell Evans, like being a contributor on this team. And I think just because everything is so strategic in terms of it's not just you got guys for need, you got guys who are also good, you got great value for where they were. Ted McMillan, to many people, the best pure wide receiver in this draft. Nick Scorton, one of the best edge rushers in the draft. Same thing with Princey, and you got both of them. Trevor Etienne, again, reach. Latham Ransom, he comes from a great pedigree in terms of Ohio State. He's a physical dude. He just fits everything that they want. They added guys who will add to the culture, play tough, play winning football. I know it sounds super cliche, but that's what we want. We want guys who just want to beat you up. And I think the top guy, even though he's picked 8th overall, I think T-Mac heard and felt the disrespect. He had to talk about those stupid videos about him when he was 19 years old, saying he doesn't watch film. I think he's gonna take that personal. I think he's going to want to show people that he deserved to get picked at 8, and I'm super excited for it. Also, I have to mention number 4 in Process Blue looks clean as hell. Again, after that, they had, I think, 17 spots for undrafted free agents. There's a guys out there that people are going to be talking about, getting hype about, but I'd like to remind everybody that every year we get excited about an undrafted free agent wide receiver, and then unless it's Jalen Coker, who's kind of broke the mold, no one ever really does anything. Either way. Also, I want to mention, I probably should have said this on top of the show, every draft you're going to say feels good. Obviously, there's some you're going to be like, but if I look back at my videos, even when Jonathan Mingo was drafted, I thought this guy could be something. And it didn't happen. So we're always going to think things are pretty good, rose-colored glasses, the hope of it being smoked to maximum come draft day. So we're all going to feel good about it. But it seems like at least every draft analyst that I've read from thus far thinks that this was an amazing draft. PFF giving the Panthers an A+ grade. Mina Kimes, my half-Korean sister, not actually my sister, really like the Princely pick on day 2. So there's always some analyst out there, national analyst, who is giving praise to the Panthers, something that we're just not comfortable with. So it's not just us. It's being appreciated elsewhere outside of our Panther bubble. So if you're feeling good, you're feeling a little self-conscious, like, should I be feeling this good with the Panthers draft because of what we had to deal with Scott Fitter and company beforehand, and Matt Rule and all that jazz? Just appreciate it. Things are good. Now, I'm going to have more recap videos and maybe go from one player down the line. I'm going to be hopefully talking to some more guys who are way smarter than me about football, how good we should be feeling entering into rookie minicamp and into training camp. Cannot wait. This is just the beginning. And I appreciate you guys going me on this ride in this draft. Tried some new things, reached out to some people. I hope you appreciate the interviews. If you are a member, thank you for contributing to the membership, to the subscribership. Is that a word? Watching those videos, giving me feedback. I have not forgotten about the shirts. Still working on that stuff in the background. It is, for me, I don't know. I'm just tech, not smart, and I'll work it out. You'll get the merch. Got to strike with the iron top, because I don't think I've ever been more hyped about this team since about... When was the most hype I've been? Honestly, it sounds crazy in hindsight, but when they drafted Kelvin Benjamin, I was pretty hyped. I was pretty damn hyped. Finally, Cam Newton had a receiver. Kind of how we feel about Bryce Young finally having a receiver with catch radius. Oh my God. I heard catch radius so much during the Kelvin Benjamin year. Anyways, let me know what you think about this draft. What grade would you give it? I'd give this an A-, because I think they could have improved a little bit better. I think Trevor Etienne could have waited, maybe swap Lathan Ransom for the 12th pick in the 4th, and maybe it would have been somebody else. But either way, I would have done that. And maybe Mitchell Evans, maybe could have been somebody else again. Maybe could have been a linebacker, maybe a corner. There's 0 corners in this draft. So I'll give it an A-, with the possibility of an A+ by the end of the year. Let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, spread the word. See you guys soon.